Howdy peeps and peoples, we rolling into Bear Hollow up here. At the mulch plant, there's Big Mom on the loader bringing chips around, and Speedy's up here from Werner's feeding the Big Peterson with this Tiger Cat 250 circle saw machine. It's got the live heel and the circle saw auxiliary hydraulics on it. And I don't know much about the Peterson. I know it's a big son of a buck. It's got a big cat sitting on it. I think maybe like a C18 or something like that cat. I've not wrenched on this one. You know, the old one that I'm used to was the Morbark, had the 3412 on it. I like that bad boy. But Werner's makes real good equipment decisions. So whatever it is, I guarantee it's good. And Speedy, he's been around a while. This old boy knows a thing or two about a thing or two when it comes to this stuff. And he's the type of guy you can put him out here and he's going to make her happy. So he does a lot of the chipping. The chipping is kind of like mulching in the fact that it's very mechanical intensive. So if you're going to chip or mulch or anything like that, you're going to have to be mechanical. You can't be an unmechanical person, or you'll go broke messing with it. I promise you, there's way too many things to go wrong, way too much money. Now around the back here, Stevie and Roger Dodge is getting Big Mama's grinder ready. Now we do the finished product, and I'll explain all that here in a minute.
I told her, she said none of them symptoms even come up.
I told your dad a while ago, I've never washed my hands in my life.
I know, I've been wearing mother out there.
Wash, scrub.
Sanitizer and all that.
You get too clean and you're going to get sick.
Once it turned out to be nothing, and then all of a sudden panicking over
If it does, somebody's going to get killed. Somebody killed her.
Now here's the side of our company I don't share much about very often. But this here's our colored mulch program. It's mostly ran by Big Mama. Me and Big Daddy ran it in the infant days back when we was first getting started, and then Big Mama took it over when I went to the woods. But I always got a soft spot for mulch. I love it. I love making things pretty. This here, when we first break the pulpwood down, it makes it into this. And our pulpwood, Werner's here running our chipper. Now our mulch comes from many different things. As we process this wood to end up with this mulch. This here is from the sawmill in the pallet room. That's what you're seeing right here. That's a bit finer than I like. So I've been working on the screen to thicken it up just a hair. But then pin chips mixed in with the chip style chips, the mixture there has to be right. These people out there landscaping, these people out here landscaping their yards, they want this stuff just right and consistent. So there's a lot goes into piece size. That's more like the piece size I like. And you get the pin chips mixed in with the chip shaped chips, you know. So here's our pulpwood out here. This is wood we've got out of the tops. With our mechanical logging, it's a lot easier to reclaim our tops without slowing the flow of wood down. See, our main goal is to feed the sawmill. So this has always been a pain in our butt because we used to be manual loggers. But now that we're mechanical, we can start saving some of this stuff. And we don't go after everything that's pulpwood. We just go after the stuff that's handy and the stuff that we feel will chip decent, like poplar, and there's some gums. There's a few white oak pieces in there, but we couldn't resist them. I actually thought she would make tiny logs out of them, but the price of white oak, you know, you can go down pretty good on white oak. But anyways, so they're chipping. This is all Werner set up. So they come in and they do a primary breakdown. And we do our primary breakdown with a knife, with sharp knives, because your diesel fuel burnt to tonnage put out, there's a big difference. Or, you know, it's pretty efficient. So the first pass, it gets us this product. The first pass gets us this product, which is regular chips. Then after that's done, Big Mama comes over here, and you see we're keeping it separated from our finished product over here. So over here, she's making the finished product with the grinder, and it gets mixed in. We'll doze that and load that up on top of this pile. So as she's digging out of the pile, it all falls off and mixes. But what we do, our mix is very important. We don't want to get too much of one or the other piece size, or we'll get customers aggravated at us. As you can tell, this makes a more coarse product. It does have some pins in it, but it's a little more coarse. So when we blend everything together, then we get the final product that we need. Side.
Okay, here's the next day. I come out with the drone. Now that's Derek's taking a split load. The front of that load was bark, and he's going to load the back of that load up with colored mulch. And that's a split load to a landscaper that wanted like 28 yards of one thing and 35 yards of another. You know, we can deliver it in a mulch van and save them some on trucking if they're getting two different things. And that's what Derek's got going on. And here's Speedy feeding his big unit with the Tiger Cat. This was Werner's first Tiger Cat boom that they got in the B model, which has been very good for them, the best I could recall. And give you a little bit of history. Back when we was getting the cat boom that Big Mama runs, Luke was on me to get one of these, but I chickened out because of moving on a detach. That would have been our first detach machine, and I was wrong. Luke was right. This is a very good machine. The best I recall, this has been very good for them. I don't know, you see the pintle ring area in between his tracks back there? That's where they're hooking up to their saw table. And they run circle slasher, kind of like, it's a hand, no, I think the first one was a hood. But they're running circle slasher, kind of like we do. Werner's and our machines are they're circle saw machines. They got live heels. They got auxiliary hydraulics on their, to run a circle saw, that sort of deal. As opposed to a bar saw style machine. and both companies, us and Werner's both, we really like our circle rigs. It's hard to go to, it's hard to change. Everybody has a little trouble changing, but we feel like we like it the way. Now look up there. See Derek up there in the back of the walking floor? He's throwing his load tarp in to separate the colored mulch he's getting ready to throw in that walking floor from the bark mulch that he'd already loaded. I actually loaded him. I think I threw that bark mulch on the front of him before I come over with the drone. But and Eli's there with the 544J. He's feeding Speedy with the pulpwood we had stacked up, and they're about done. These two, I wanted to get up there as quick as I could and get this footage because these two are about to wander down on the primary breakdown. And then you see Guinea's piles built up there. Guinea's just burning through it with the grinder. That's a 3680 Bandit recycler is what she's running, and that it's got the 12-liter Deere motor on it. It's been good. It's the I can't think of the model number on it. It's a 12 point something liter Deere, and it's their first series of the common rail motor, and it's been good to us. I think we rebuilt it once, the best I can remember. John Deere rebuilt it for us. We might have rebuilt it once and botched it up. I think we only ran it like 5 years after we rebuilt it because we botched it up. I think we had to send it into Deere to Herb Equipment, and Herb actually fixed it. But they got some good people out there. But there's Guinea. She's putting in the chips straight out of Werner's Big Peterson. And then the Bandit is putting it through the final screen. And now we've had this 3680 for years. I think since 2001, something like that. And we've had our ups and downs, but mostly our downs was from the fact that we was trying to do primary breakdown with it, and it's not really a primary breakdown style machine. It's kind of your finish machine. It does a real good finish job. But what we like to do is our primary breakdown, breaking it from a log down, is with a sharp knife. And Speedy's got a bunch of knives with him, and they're sharp. They're razor sharp. And then your primary breakdown's done real efficient. And then your second run, there's Eli. He's about to run out of the pile. He's about to get his pile whittled down to nothing. Your secondary breakdown with what we're doing with the beast over there, the Bandit over there, is kind of, you're more smacking and thumping. Breaking pieces kind of like it's not a hammer mill, but it works kind of like a hammer mill. It's an inefficient blow. So if you're trying to do primary breakdown with it, it's inefficient. It's a diesel fuel sucking machine if you're trying to do primary breakdown with it. And now I just get to playing around with the drone. Maybe spend a little too much time on the drone now. But I'm going to get plenty of good up high views of things going on here. Look at the undercarriage. Oh, here I'm doing an overhead shot of Big Mama. And there's the overhead of Speedy doing his thing. You see the oversizes and the oddball stuff coming out the side of his Peterson. And then back over to Eli's pile. Might have done this a little bit too much. I was just trying to get different angles. And here's Robin coming in. I think he ends up loading black or brown. I can't remember. But he's got to hang his rag in the trailer. And see, these walking floor trailers, you put a rag in there, and as you're walking the product out, it walks the rag out with it, and that cleans your floor off. So the normal habits is you swing in. We run 3 of these walking floor trailers. Larry is missing, and this little walking floor convoy. You hang your rag up in the front of the trailer, and then the rag walks out behind the product that you're dumping. and it cleans the floor off. I'll show you sometime. Those of you that don't know how a walking floor works, I had to show you. It's not a dump trailer. These trailers are not dump trailers. The floor moves. It's a walking floor. And there's Derek putting his brown in. I don't know where he's going. That's a 544 GLL. That's our first G series loader Derek's running there. Old number 1. I think it was a 90. I want to say a 92 model. Might have been a 94. I'd say a 92 model. It's a 92 model John Deere. We bought it brand spanking new back in the day. And Big Meat rebuilt it back in his day when he worked here. He redid the whole loader, the rear ends, transmission, motor, a bunch of hydraulics and electronics. So this loader is kind of like a revamped, it's an old revamped loader. It's our old trusty. That loader you're looking at's probably got 40,000 hours on it. Or maybe 50. It's been around a while. See, you see how Derek's pile is? The bark's in the front and the colored brown mulch is in the back of his trailer. And there's a rag. There's a rag in front of his bark, and then there's going to be a rag laying on the bark pile in front of his collard. So when he walks it out, he can get it separated because you don't want to get your bark mulch into your colored mulch. And Robin's in his trailer getting ready to hang his rag. See, he's wrestling around getting it shaped right. You can see in the bottom of his trailer where he's been sweeping out the crumbs because he's obviously changing color. When you change color, you got to sweep your trailer out so it's clean. And we'll head back over here to Speedy, see what he's got going on. Now, I think his knives are starting to get a little dull. And I'm not a chipper professional, but I've chipped enough to know that when you're chipping and your knives are starting to get dull, the last thing you want is somebody recording you. I love you, buddy. You know it. I could just see him in there shaking his head like, shut that freaking camera off. Daggone knives are getting dull. But it's one of them deals. He's about to the end of it. And he's going to push them on through and get them all through there. You know, so when he gets done, he can change his knives. Because this is old dirt, dry wood. And it is not good on the knives. This is being hard on Werner's knives right now to get this stuff through. So what he's normally chipping is fresh wood right out of the woods. They normally set that chipper up on a job site, and they're taking her straight off the skid row. So they're pulling it off the stump, cutting it down. They got tiger cat bunchers, so they're whacking her down with their tiger cats and pulling it straight to the chipper. So the water and moisture content's up in it, the wood's fresh, and through a knife, it's you know, not so abrasive and hard on knives. Now the wood you're seeing Speedy run right now is very hard on the knives. You can see the coarseness of the chips going into Bandit, and look on the belt coming out. Look how much finer they look on the belt coming out of there compared to the coarse of going in. Now, I'll take this opportunity to say the audio don't match the video. The audio is, I set my phone over there by Speedy's radiator. So the phone, well, until it fell on the ground, it almost busted the screen. So the phone sitting over there on the fifth wheel, well, laying on the ground in front of the fifth wheel is Speedy Peterson over there, trying to record his audio, and I went ahead and stuck it on this video so you got some audio from it. Look over there under that chipper and see if you can see a black spot laying on the ground. That's my Samsung Galaxy 10 sitting on the ground over there. Now Derek's loaded and he's backing up. He's going to roll his tarp and get out of Robin's way. Is what he's trying to do. Now see Robin, he's sweeping his stuff to the back of his trailer. Now he pulls down there on the ramp, he'll reach in there at the broom and just pull it right out the back. and then start throwing stuff on top. Here's a little shot I got. I was trying to get the, I'm learning a lot about this drone, and I'm trying to do the follow me thing to where I can lock in the loader in my drone, and it'll follow Big Mama around. You see how that side panel's bent on the back of her loader? Somebody got the daggone thing caught in the tire. In the back tire and bent it around. I'm gonna have to do some body work on that thing, like I did on the old number 1 there a year or so ago. And here's Robin. He's feeding his unit with black. Now, typically we're putting on 91 yards of product in that trailer. Typically 91. He's probably hauling 84 because the black's a little wetter. And it'll end up overweight if you go for 91 in the black right now. But as it dries out, the stuff Speedy's over there chipping, and that gets colored red for the most part. And that product we can haul 91 yards because it's a little lighter. When she colors it through her color machine, that's what the blue machine does over there. Our colored product is black, brown, and red. And when she colors it, it adds water to it to color it. So she's adding moisture to it, but not a big chunk. A lot of it's just the moisture that's already in the product. See how wet that black looks? See how shiny it is? That's wet. So Robin's probably hauling 84 yards instead of 91. But I loaded, the night I met it in this video, I loaded a Tri-X, a load of red this evening, which is April 7th when I'm editing this. And the load I loaded, the red was dry and dusty. So it's drying out. This stuff Speedy's running, it's going to be dry. That wood's been sitting drying out. Yeah, it rains on it and stuff, but the overall, it dries out. I've never fed one of these Petersons. Luke's got 2 Petersons, or Werner's got 2 Petersons. I've never fed a Peterson. I don't know. I've always fed the old Morbark. When they got the Petersons, they kind of been doing their own feeding it, so they kind of taking better care of it, I'm not sure, I'm not used to how it feeds. It looks like it eats pretty good. It's a little lighter setup, a little smaller setup than the old Morbark was. But I'm here to tell you, the old Morbark was a good rig. There's Speedy's getting, that's a lot of the bark falling off of that old stuff. Speedy's making a pile over there. Big Daddy's pushing it off with the other loader when it gets too bad. But we're getting ready to have to start taking that stuff and grinding it for bark. We'll have to change screens and grind it. I'd say in the future, next round, we're probably going to start. We've just been pushing it off to get ourselves organized till we get us a plan going, then we'll recycle it all. See how the bark just falls off of that stuff? See the chunks of bark coming off of it. And he's trying to kind of run them end to end, so and it's important when your knives are dull, because that feed roller back there with all the teeth on it, it's pushing the end of the piece through before it gets to the next piece. See what I mean? The duller that gets, the less aggressive the knives pull wood in, and you start using the roller to push it in. So Luke, one thing Luke always had me do, see, like he's putting a small end in there. When you get the opportunity, you put the big end in to push the other piece in. Well, see, now he's got it. I think he's got him a little clog up going on there. Yep. What happened is the end of the piece in front of him kind of clogged it up, and now he's going to pull it out and get these other pieces to push that in through.
Well, thanks everybody. Have a good one. Let me know what's up. Hit that bell. Later on, guys.